If something has felt off or like it's not moving the way it should, this is your confirmation. Today, we're looking at what's actually working in your life and what's not working in your life. And the what's not part, that's where we're hoping to find the truth today. So, welcome. Good morning. This is your Morning Tarot Live. My name is Jennifer Rose. Thank you all so much for being here with me this morning. We're going to do a split reading today, but as I do, I'd like to start off with an oracle card reading and allow you all to get here in the space. And I'm hoping to kind of figure out how to get my stream to go onto my Instagram account. So that would be a really nice thing to be able to do right now, but I'm not sure that that's happening. So anyway, welcome. I'm going to start off with a oracle card. These oracle cards are from my Witch Cat oracle deck that I've been using here the last couple of days. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel while I'm shuffling and getting ready to get this oracle card out. And say hi in the comments. I get the water fairy. Okay, I'm gonna hold the water fairy up close. Okay, and I'm gonna read it. Try to figure out a good way to do this so you can see it too. Okay. Meet Dewdrop. She plays in the puddles and delights in the rain. She is the peaceful stillness of the pond and the crashing curls of the ocean waves. She is the salty sea mist and the fresh mountain lake. She is the rushing river, the tinkling stream, the waterfall, and the blue lagoon. She is an icy, cold plunge in a healing hot spring. When Dewdrop swims into your world, connect to the spirit of water and replenish your living fluid body. Water. Let me start that over. When Dewdrop swims into your world, connect to the spirit of water and replenish your living fluid body. Drink a lot of water. Spend time near a body of water. Take a soak, a shower, or a swim. The water fairies are calling to you. Receive their healing gifts. So this is appropriate today. I'm coming to you live from Kansas City, Missouri, and we have a little bit of rain going on this morning, but it didn't keep me from doing my morning walk. And so, meet Dewdrop. Appropriate. And I live by a lake, and I like to go watch the sunrises, and that's hence why I'm doing this morning. All right, so let's take a deep breath and just kind of ground ourselves here a little bit. And you know, as I said, we're going to be talking about those things that that work in your life, and then what's not working in your life. Uh, so we're going to see what's online for you and what's out of online. So if you're here in the chat, say good morning, please. Hello. All right. What are we waking up to today? That was a tricky little card thing that happened there. So I feel that the cat trickiness already going on here this morning. So let's see what's aligned for you right now. What is aligned for you right now? Today, Tuesday, May 5th. The Hierophant. So the first thing I thought of when I turned over this card, and I should say that I'm learning tarot card readers all over, just know that when you turn over a card and you see something, the first thing that comes to your mind, you should always say it. I've learned the hard way by not saying what comes to my mind. But the first thing that comes to mind is we've got to be in control of ourselves, right? We are our own keeper, our own master, our own ruler. Me personally, I'm a no gods, no masters kind of person. I'm an individual person. I'm an American person. I'm a human being, and that's where my collective lies. So the Hierophant, what's going right for us? So maybe there are some situations in your life that you have the upper hand, and maybe it is that you're actually the boss boss in the house, the boss at work, that you're in control of yourselves. I'm still kind of harkening back to the Queen of Wands yesterday, someone who's in complete control of themselves. Now, the Hierophant is also, as you can see, looks like a pope to me. So, uh, you know, you could be a religious figure or someone who, leads people in that way. Or it's not me, but um, so Capricorn, this makes me think of a Capricorn, of course. And I've been talking about Capricorn and I'm a Cap rising. And Capricorn's age backwards. So the Hierophant, uh, this is, I have a disconnect with this because it says that that's what's working for it. I wonder if this is working. Hello. Hopefully this is working. I'm trying to get a little bit better volume here. And I don't know if what I'm hearing back at me is what you're hearing. So, all right. So the Hierophant on what is aligned with you. So, you know, maybe it is that this time that signed contract is on your side. Okay. Maybe it is this time that you dotted your I's and crossed your T's, right? That's what's working for you. What's working for you is that you align with whoever it is that you feel like you're against. Like we all right now are feeling like we're against someone. It's either us versus us or us versus them, or, we're competing with everyone except for ourselves, except for our better selves. Um, so the Hierophant is also someone who can motivate you to get things done. And the Hierophant is a motivator for me. When I see the Hierophant, I'm like, oh, what have I not got done? What have I not gotten accomplished? And the Hierophant is there to remind you to accomplish things. So I think, the thing that you do have, the stuff that you do have aligned with you is that you have um, taken the time to prepare. So yesterday we were talking about, you know, don't quit your, like preparing to quit your job would be finding another job, or, alleviating the stress from doing that is not thinking about it, just doing it, right? So I feel like you've aligned yourself, like this could even be orders of protection. This could be any kind of, to me, I'm seeing a contract here, like, whoa, you can't go here. And that's aligned for you. Rejection is protection. A lot of us think that rejection is something that we're being kept from something, but maybe it is that we're being kept from something that's not good for us. And we don't know it at the time until later, but at first we get a little upset about it, right? I think that we've taken care of ourselves. I think that we've learned from past experiences. Police officers, 5 Lee Summit police officers, and here in Kansas City, Missouri, we all know that Lee Summit doesn't play as far as uh, policing is concerned. So it was a little anxiety ridden, and the whole time, the reason why we were in the hotel was not anything. We had to leave our house because we were having an issue in our house, and so it was stressful anyway. And I thought, you know what? We're going to get out of the car because that's the illegal part of this situation. And we're going to step outside and we're going to walk to the back of this parking lot where none of this action is happening. We're going to smoke our marijuana, you know. And so, Mel was not all that keen on that, but we walked to the back of the parking lot and a police officer walked right past us as we were smoking and didn't even look at us, didn't look in our direction, didn't give a shit about what we were doing. And that's because we're on private property. So really the only thing the officer could do at that point in time is to tell the owner of the building that there are a couple of people over there in this parking lot smoking marijuana. And do you want me to do something about that while I'm here? Or you can call them if they, cause a problem, but it's really up to the private property owner. Just like, parking. If you're on private property, even if somebody's parking in a handicap spot, it's really up to that business owner, right? So, making sure that you have all of the documentation, okay? Like we've got the receipts. We've got those are the things that are working in your favor. Keep double copies of those things that are really, really important. Lock them up. Don't keep them somewhere where they can be spilled on, eaten by a dog. Like I think I read something about a friend of mine's dog eating a check, and I was wondering like why would they just eat a check? Like I know dogs do things, but why would they eat a check? And I thought, well, maybe if I put like some food on top of it and it smelled like food. Uh, but look, the Hierophant today is asking us, to think about what is already online for us, and how we can. To me, it's about how we can better align things. So if we haven't taken care of our business, if we haven't paid our bills, if we haven't signed that contract and mailed it in, if we're missing deadlines, all of those things are either causing us stress or money. Like deadlines sometimes cost money if you're holding on to something. Like it makes me think of Blockbuster. If you don't turn in your movies on time, you're going to get charged every day for that. So there are a lot of us kind of sitting out there, and we really just have to like print something out or whatever. And so what aligns with us is if we have our shit together, if we have our ducks in a row, if we have our paperwork in a row. Um, what is aligned for us is that whatever it is that we've already set in place, whatever we've done already, that's going to really work out for us. And we should focus on the Hierophant goes round and round, round and round, round and round. Well, the Hierophant does go round and round, and the Hierophant will make you feel like you're crazy sometimes. Like, did you do this? Did you do that? Like don't second guess yourself. About what you have done to align yourself. Some of us are just lucky and blessed to be in alignment with what we're doing these days. And look, um, these things that we already have taken care of are what's really going to push us and pedal us through the day. Okay. So let's look at the not part. What's not aligning? What's not working in your life right now? When I see the Hierophant, I think that should be the card that's not working out because I don't like the rules. I like the rules in as much as I can push and see how far I can exploit them, and especially the rules that I know for a fact aren't for me, push. There's always a gray area. So what's not working for us today? The world. So look, y'all, it may feel like everything is going to shit somewhere for you. And it may mean that there's like a little bit of a whirlwind that happens. Maybe it is that you're chasing your tail a little bit today. It's Tuesday. I don't really believe that the week begins on Monday because a lot of us are just too groggy to get things done oftentimes. But on Tuesday is when the wheels start going, the restaurants get busy, right? So I think that first of all, it's what's not working is worrying about what other people think about you. What's not working for us right now is worrying about the things that we can't control. Like I know there are a lot of global things going on, but these are things that we can't control. We have no control over it whatsoever. So putting our energies into that isn't going to be working out for us very well. Okay. And I think that really kind of clashes with the Hierophant, like I'll get to that clash here in a second if there, what's working for us and what's not. But so sometimes it is, and like a lot of us feel like we're outside of the world. Like a lot of us feel like Nobody understands us. Nobody listens to us. Nobody gives a shit about us. Nobody is going to do anything for us because nobody cares. And I really, it makes me feel sad that a lot of people in the world feel like that. A lot of us feel like we don't belong. We've been looking for ways in which we can belong together. And, sometimes it just is too much. The world can just be too much. And what's not working for us is just worrying about what other people are saying or doing, comparing ourselves to other people, trying to do too much shit. Like having a to-do list and finishing it all. If there's 30 items on it and you don't have the strength or the energy to do it, isn't going to work. And this is somebody who's really just kind of taking care of everything too. This is the caretaker of the bunch. All right. Um, I love this card because it's titties out. It means we've been through a lot, baby. It's like, oh, we've done ripped off the clothes. We just have this little, like this is the world. And this is also to me, this is a little bit about um, not revisiting. So the four corners, the elements, um, revisiting old past hurts is also not working for us. Like ruminating or thinking over and over again about that thing that hurt you, that thing that someone said to you, that look that you got, the cringe that you got. Now I don't know who, like hello, good morning. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already subscribed, so you can see me every day. Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Yeah, what's not working for us is the world. We're really not happy about a lot of things. And I really do think this is comparisons um, for a lot of us. And, you know, um, we've got to disconnect from the world too. We've got to figure out a way to disconnect from all the stuff, especially those things that we can't control that aren't currently happening in our lives. Like the things that are happening outside of our lives are happening in a place where we have no control over. That we, no matter how hard we try, can do anything about. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what to say on that, but pause with me here while I'm having a very strange situation happen here. I want to draw another card. I'm incomplete about this. We've got the Hierophant and the World. First of all, those are two major arcana cards, which means major, movement, major life changes, major thought processes. Um, Life feels a little bit shuffled. It feels a little bit hurried. It feels like everything's going on all at the same time. And I know that this card doesn't necessarily look like that, right? And this can be a great completion as well. But it looks like to me that from all four corners, there's just, it's just somebody who's really, really busy and that's not working out for you. You're pulling yourself in too many directions. There's too many people who want you and you're still not taking care of yourself. And if we go back to little Dewdrop here, Dewdrop is wanting you to spend time near a body of water, take a soak, a shower, or swim. The water fairies are calling to you. Water and replenish your living fluid body. So if you're not, taking care of yourselves as far as nutrition, water, and all those kinds of things, that's a good idea. I'm going to draw another card. To be honest, I'm trying to structure this in a way, but I'm really an unstructured person. I hate these algorithms and everything. It just doesn't feel authentic to me. And they want you to have a script and they want you to do all this shit. And it just takes away from my magic. So, all right. Hopefully, I'm having to work out some bugs. Thank you so much. But I'm tired of this algorithm BS, and so I'm just gonna draw some cards for you today on this Tuesday, May 5th. What does May 5th symbolize for you? Is this a day in the calendar for you? Is this someone's birthday? Is this something that that reminds you of something that's happened in the past? Strength. Hello. I don't know if I've got another Leo here, but every time I draw this strength card, I think Leo. We gotta have strength, strength, strength. We've gotta have strength, strength, strength. Baby. I know you're asking. So don't stay anywhere where you don't feel comfortable, where you don't belong, where you don't feel valued, where, like, you gotta walk away from. You gotta have the strength to walk away. Um, I read a book and I can't remember the name of it, but it was telling you kind of strategies on power, like how people use power, all sorts of things. And they said that a big, huge strength would be, like, especially if you're giving a speech or something, is just walk off stage, or if something, to be dramatic, to just walk off stage. And I think sometimes I could do that for drama, but I think I would be mortified as well. But we have to have strength to get through. We have to have strength to deal with the Hierophant, whoever the Hierophant is in your life. If you're your own Hierophant, if you're the person who makes the rules for yourselves and others, have some grace. Like brute force strength, trying to force something down someone's throats, proselytizing, telling somebody something over and over and over again, doesn't often work. Especially as a reprimand. Like, I am a person that would push back against all that kind of stuff, especially if it was in response to something that I did. If that was your response to something I did, you just came with the brute force strength, okay? But we do need to remember that we have inner strength, and that those lions and tigers that comes up to us during the day, those lions that we put in our room, those lions that are in our room, unfortunately, they're there, and we need to know how to best deal with them. And I want to say that this can be a part of our, like the Queen of Wands, the Black Cat, are not best self. Okay, the strength. Sometimes we just put one foot in front of the other and just kind of zombie it down, and just kind of do our routines without feeling, without. Uh, just, I think a lot of us are feeling numb right now, and then if we're feeling, we're overfeeling because we've been so numb for so long, we don't even know how to feel. And then when we do feel, or when we emote how we feel, other people will tell us that that is the right or wrong way to do our feeling and our healing, and that's just ugh. So have the strength to stand up to yourself, to stand up to others who might be trying to apply some pressure to you. I feel like a lot of people are feeling the pressure from one angle or another. This world card can be, full of a lot of pressure. There's somebody right in the middle of that. And I just feel like that somebody is kind of in a hamster wheel, running and running and running, and doing all of their, like even doing your exercises, doing your best balance routine. And no matter how fast you run or how many times you go check that thing, you're going to get the same result unless you change something. You have to have that strength to be able to change something. And maybe it is like, so now I'm seeing the Hierophant in a different way, or Hierophant in a different way. Maybe it is that your therapist is telling you, like maybe you're talking to a therapist and they're telling you kind of how to handle this this strength and how to give yourself strength. Like, to me, this is finding our inner strength, our inner push, our inner brave person, our inner kitty cat that becomes a lion, that becomes a tiger, that becomes our, I said, like, this is a Leo card. It's nice and bright and yellow, regal. Sit in your power, know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, it's time to investigate that, right? Oh, yeah, there we go. The high priestess says you've got to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, if you don't show people who you are, if you're flailing about, there will be plenty of people, the Hierophant, to try to clue you into that, to try to tell you who you are, to try to tell you uh, how to act and everything. So, the high priestess, yet another. This is all major arcana cards. So these are major movement cards. These are major. life change card. So I do feel like a lot of us are going through some big, big stuff. Um, moving, movement. If you're standing still, why? This is the time to move. We got to get going. We got to move. We can't be complacent. We can't be complacent with ourselves. We can't take, our hearts are needing some mending. We need to really explore and exploit who the hell we are right now, where we're at, who we are and where we're at. And we have to ask ourselves, if where we are at currently in our lives isn't working, then what do we need to do? What kind of strength do we need, to turn this around? I'm going back to the Hierophant. Maybe this is a therapist. This therapist is helping you. But, if you need help knowing, if you don't know who you are, someone is there to tell you. When we're the most vulnerable, that's when people can exploit us. That's when people can tell us who we are. That's when people can, insert that shame sentence to make you feel like you're really not doing it right. So knowing who we are outside of what other people think is key. Knowing who we are. And to me, for this, the Five of Pentacles is knowing when to ask for help. Some of us just can't do it. Our pride is wrapped up in, asking for help. This Five of Pentacles card, excuse me, I don't know where my microphone's coming from. So this Five of Pentacles card, is a couple of people, one person who looks like they're on crutches and probably in need. Doesn't look like they have shoes on their feet, but they do have clothes on. And it looks like snow to me. Maybe walking past, someone that can help. I always interpret it as this as a church. So listen, if we're in our most vulnerable place, um, it is okay to go ask for help. And the pentacles again are health, wealth, finances, the things that we own, the things that we can touch, feel, our homes, our cars, those things. So it makes me think, like, if you're behind on a payment, it's time to call and ask for an extension. If you've asked for extension, it's time to call and say, hey, look, I can't make that extension if that's what's happening with you. And I mean that in all ways. Like, so when I say bills, but it resonates with you on another level, then please take it there because the message is meant in that way. So the Five of Pentacles, I don't like being in the Five of Pentacles energy. Okay, it really, a lot of us are placed in that Five of Pentacles energy because we're not being paid what we should be paid for our work and for our time and energy and bodies. Some of us are there because we don't know how to handle our money very well. And sometimes, like just shit happens and you need to go have some extra help. Okay. So, this is a card to say, hey, if you need help, if you need help, a Hierophant, look for the adult, look for the authority figure, like in all ways, I guess. Look for the authority figure that can help you with that. And do not wait to make that phone call. Do not wait to fill out that form. I had to fill out some really important forms. And honestly, when I first got those forms in the mail and I saw the deadline, I thought the deadline was today. And so I thought, oh, I'll get ahead of it. And I went ahead and pulled out that paperwork yesterday. And I noticed that the paperwork was yesterday. And as a matter of fact, with this entity that I'm putting in the paperwork, they would have appreciated if you just thought about it before they did and did the papers for them for it to be okay. So I'm really happy that I looked at that. And if this is you, and if you have things that are on, so another thing that's happened with me as far as time is concerned, we have a client, a longtime friend and client, and we know when her birthday is. But I texted her happy birthday yesterday, and it's a week from now. But I was the first one, and she was very kind and gracious about it. But like it looked weird. It looked like it was on the calendar for yesterday, and maybe it was just my brain. So Please check your appointments, okay? Check your paperwork, make sure all of your I's are dotted, T's are crossed. I hope the sound is working out for you all today. I did watch my video back yesterday, which is very difficult to do because I criticize myself and usually criticize myself and break the videos down. But yesterday I did that with an open heart. I was like, oh, I can't hear myself. I found myself turning up my own TV. So thanks for hanging in there with me. So it looks like, a lot of us are just trying to find our strength, trying to find our inner high priestess, trying to deal with this world and trying to figure out who we are and how we fit into this world. We also have somebody who is definitely there to tell us how we're feeling about the world or tell us, give us some guidance on how to do that. It's so appropriate that the Hierophant is just sitting in the front of the deck, the the pool here. Another 5 cards. So we got 2 5 cards. Gosh, it's only Tuesday, y'all. And we're already at the fives here. So there's a struggle. I think that this is still an inner struggle. I think this is an inner battle. I think this is a battle between our heart and our mind. I think a lot of relationships have been called into question. Love relationships, our relationships with everything have been called into question. And maybe it is that stuff is kind of rolling around in our minds right now and in our hearts. And maybe it is that we're actually, having conversations and they're a little bit combative. Or maybe it is that we're just kind of going back and forth with people right now. I just want to say that no or yes is enough. No or yes is enough. And for some reason, I need to say this. So if you're watching this and this hits you, it's for you. It doesn't really matter where they want to go. And talking about this any further is not going to make it any easier and it's not going to make it any better. So someone needs to, and if this is you, someone needs to either end this conversation because the more we go around and around about it, now there's that world card again. So the more we go round and round about it, we're not getting anywhere. We're just rehashing the same old stuff in different ways. So somebody needs to stop, first of all, the cycle. Somebody needs to actually put your foot down and say, I'm not doing this anymore. Stop the text chain, stop commenting on the TikTok, stop stalking someone because they said something to you. But listen, this is kind of like in a group dynamic. Somebody really needs to put up or shut up. Okay. So this can stop. This conflict isn't necessary and it's just kind of come out of something strange. And you know that. And you're really not sure why you're participating in it anymore. It's causing you a little bit more stress than you need to. So look for somebody to stand up, look for somebody to have the strength to say the real thing and to unravel this whole, like I'm the elephant in the room person. Unfortunately, if you invite me to your family gathering and there's something obvious going on, I'm probably going to bring it up. And a lot of people probably aren't going to like me. But it's easier just to kind of pop that balloon, right? To get that over with. Um, ooh, we got 2 5s here, though. And 2 5s are a 10, though. And that means you're number one. I'm number one. So, anyway, let's ask what I want to ask what it is that we don't need to force. It feels like we're all forcing something to try and work for us and trying to fit around peg square hole something like that. Around peg square hole. It's early. I need more coffee apparently. And if you haven't already subscribed, what are you doing? You're missing out on this every day, every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. All right. Where do we not need to force things? Gosh, that's a okay. All right. So this is where we don't need to force things. Um, I had this card yesterday, and this card is this is the Nine of Pentacles, and Pentacles is about health, wealth, finances, and the things that you own, cars, things, houses, clothes, etc. Okay, so listen, you don't have the best of everything. Okay, you don't have to have the nicest car or the nicest house. It has to be functional. All right. You don't have to have a ton of money in the bank to make that thing happen. You don't have to have savings. You don't have to have what other people have. Like there's still a lot of comparison here. I mean, there's just a lot of comparison. So I don't know. But don't force your life to look like other people's lives that you feel might look better than yours. Because listen, on the inside of the house, like look, the outside of the house might look great. The house might be in the best neighborhood, have the best schools, have one. And I'm guilty of comparison. I really don't know what's happening today. It is raining right now, so thank you so much for hanging out with me. But this comparison stuff has got to stop. And even down to like comparing not just clothes and I mean like there's even a hat there. It just seems like a lot of comparisons. And right now, maybe even comparing your yard to someone else's. Like it's spring here in Missouri, and we've already had our to mow our lawn a few times, and I see our neighbors out putting in. I mean, my wife is out planting flowers and moving bulbs, and making our stuff nice. But I don't see her, walking around the neighborhood and being like, "Oh, I don't," like she's not comparing our house to everyone else's, and she's doing that because she wants to, because we want it to look nice, because we want to go out there and enjoy what looks nice, not because we want everybody else to see it. But this fence here, that's outside, could be nice, but what's on the inside could be really struggling. And so I saw this guy that was kind of just really having some issues with somebody who had posted Lamborghini wheels up for sale, on Facebook Marketplace. And somebody really just kind of came unglued. Oh, I wish I could have a Lamborghini and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I looked at him and I was just, what can I say to this guy in the comment section? And I was like, hey, you know that Lambo, unless they paid for it, that's a lot of debt. Like this person is swimming in debt. Like this person could be swimming in debt. You just don't know. They might have all their shit together and then, not have love, or have debt so much that they can't even enjoy it. Like I remember when I worked a corporate job and I made damn good money, but I didn't have a lot of time to spend it. I didn't have a lot of time to enjoy it. I couldn't have experiences with my friends or just even experience by myself. I was working so much for that money. And again, I want to caution like overworking ourselves too, like overworking ourselves to be like someone that we're trying to compare ourselves to. It just makes us overworked, stressed out, anxious, and we're never going to live up, because we just need to live up to our own potential. So listen, there's nothing wrong with going to the thrift store and buying nice stuff, okay? And it doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be designer. It doesn't have to be anything. It's just as long as it's comfortable for you, and that it doesn't, that it covers you up in the way that you like, and that you look and feel good in it. It doesn't matter what other people think about it, or that it's not what other people are wearing. Okay. I think that's really important. This is really about the way somebody looks or the way, somebody feels about themselves. All right. So and take no shit from people. The Hierophant there can really be a judging monster. So that's you in your own life, being your own Hierophant. All right. So what's good? What's the stabilizer here? How can how can we stabilize this energy a little bit here? The Empress. So the Empress. Let me see. These two cards. Sometimes I think that the Nine of Pentacles is called in the Empress because do you see the garb on this? I'm absolutely correct when I'm talking about someone comparing what they wear, the style they wear, the colors they wear. They're comparing this to someone else, which is not necessary. And I'm sorry that you feel that way. I understand that. I like to wear polo clothes. It's what I've always worn. I like to have the polo label. I'm Gen X. I grew up with Izod and Alligator, all these different things like Jordache and Levi's and all that kind of stuff. But nowadays it's not quite. I don't think it's quite as. I don't. Could be wrong. But so you can see the Venus symbol on the garb of this person, and then here, ding, you see the Venus symbol on that. So yeah, this is how we bring it all together. The Empress. So the Empress is Big Mama energy. Whoever Big Mama is in your life, Big Daddy energy, whatever. I don't care about those pronouns or genders. This big person in your life, the person that gives life, the person that gives you life. Like I said, it could be a parental unit. It could be just anybody, a bestie or something. But really, the Empress is you. The Empress is your best version of you, knowing that you can make anything happen, knowing that it's so natural for you to make things happen. You attract things, you attract good things, you make things grow. You have good ideas. You have to remind yourself. And if this is somebody in your life for you, this is have a conversation with your mom or that person that feels like an authority in your life that can help you kind of figure out where you're at and what you're doing, where you're going. Some of this could be even about job stuff. Like we might be waiting on a job, applied for a job, dealing with a boss, have strength to get through it, ask for help. Like in all seriousness, like if this is a work situation for any of you out there, talking to HR is a good idea. Um, I personally don't like talking to HR. I would have to be in this energy right here in order to do that. I would really have to know myself and know what I was talking about. If I'm going somebody higher than the Hierophant, then we had better be damn sure about what it is that we want from the situation, about what happened in that situation, and again, what we want to happen from that situation. That's the most important part of that. So uh, that kind of interrupted me. So that must be for somebody. If somebody's having some issues in their workplace or what have you, it might be time to tell another authority figure to go above your current boss. If you are the boss, go to another boss. Okay. Go to whoever, like, look, the owner, the Empress, the owner. Okay. Stabilizing, just think the Empress is nurturing. So, again, back to making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, drinking water, eating well, eating something, sleeping a little will really make a world of difference in your decision making skills and just kind of getting you through this hump of whatever it is going on. But this is a new journey and this is a new opportunity for you to really kind of, figure out who you are and be yourself. And doing so and putting yourself forward like that will bring some haters, okay? There's always somebody out there ready to tell you something negative about yourself, and just don't take it. You know, you're not them. This isn't their life. This isn't their clothes. This isn't their face. This isn't their hair. It's not any of theirs. So all you can do is control what it is that you can control, and that is you, stuff that's around you, the people that are around you cannot control. And if they are out of control, if they will not stop fighting, arguing, not, like just like even not taking care of themselves, then it might be time to just back up or let them go. But please, please don't let anybody else tell you how you should look or how you should feel as a human being. I don't care how old you are or what you're doing or anything like that. So, the Empress energy today, okay, it's going to get you through. Um, the Empress also, likes to be, she likes to be comfortable. So make sure you're comfortable. If you can't sleep, sleep in your favorite chair. But please don't stay up worrying about what other people think about you. Damn it. I've done that so many times in my life, and I wish I had all that energy and time back. I don't even know those people. I don't even remember those people even. And I'm not talking about just way in the way back. I'm talking about even 10 years ago. So don't stress. All right. So it looks like we're winding down as far as time goes. And I don't know that I have anybody in the chat. I've not been a very good steward of the chat, so let me say. If you're watching and you're here with me and you have a question that you would like for me to ask Tarot, this would be a good time to do it as I'm rounding out this reading here. It just looks like it's a day. And I still think that this is still the energy of the full moon that we had last week. Okay. So we're still just kind of winding up and figuring out what the heck happened there and how we move forward from it, right? Hello, welcome. Oh, you come in. I think this next card might be something you might want to look at. So, yeah, we're all fighting some battles. Okay. Here's a Seven of Wands. This is someone who is defending themselves over and over again. And so I'm defensive before anybody can even get at me sometimes, unfortunately. Sometimes I get a little reactive. It depends on the person's energy and the actual person that I'm dealing with. Sometimes if that actual person is more of a hierophancy kind of nature, then it gets a little combative, okay? And I'm known to, uh, I got pulled over one time. I haven't been pulled over by a cop in a very long time, but I got pulled over one time. As soon as I got pulled over, um, I, kind of had a little bit of attitude because of the reason why I thought, well, I couldn't figure out why I might need to be pulled over. And I was just kind of pissed about the whole situation. So I just kind of mouthed off to the officer and like, oh, why are you pulling me over? And he pulled me over for kind of a rolling stop. And everybody does it there. And he even agreed. He's like, everybody does this here. And I was like, and you saw the traffic coming. I wasn't nice, but I don't, like I was just a little stressed out. And I said, so how much is this ticket going to cost? Like, what's this going to cost me? What are you going to do? And he's like, oh, I'm just going to give you a warning. But it's an automatic like putting up your defense because you've been having to defend yourself for so long, you don't know how to put that down. And I think that we're still just we came into this week with a little bit more information, feeling some kind of way about ourselves and about others. And then, like we're doing this comparing thing, like, well, I don't even know why they can say this about me because they blah, 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 and go down their dirty laundry, and all this us versus them and comparisоnism and stuff. It's really what's driving us apart right now. All that competitiveness. And I think I love competitive. I love sports, but I'm really starting not to like the competitiveness of it. And I can't believe that I'm saying that because I've been known to be a very competitive person. Okay. So that's for you, defensiveness. If you want to be seen, uh, if you want a different outcome, um, trying to keep that defensive reflex under control would probably help. Not everyone is out to get us. I still have to learn that lesson, okay? And even if there is someone gunning for you, like even if there is someone who doesn't want you to do well, and I don't understand why anybody would want that, you know. And if you're in that situation and you have control of getting that person out of your life, you need to get that person out of your life. I mean, first, for real, for real, for real. It's just not okay. I got interrupted there. It looks like my sweet wife and the doggy walkers lead, Lily, our chihuahua, are awake. And I asked them not to walk through this part of the house, which is where she would need to go potty. And all of her potty stuff is out here. So, good morning and thank you. All right. So, a card to round out the day, my friends. Now, remember, this Hierophant card is the things that you've already done. You know, the I's that you've dotted, the T's that you crossed, the contracts that you've kept, the contracts that you've signed. Those are all those things working in your favor. All of that work that you did behind the scenes, it's working out for you right now. So that's awesome. Still feeling a little defensive, still feeling a little, but you know, with strength, we can push through with a little bit of help from our friends, our mama and mans, people who are our most support. Reach out to them when you need it. Reach out to them when you feel like you're just kind of not feeling well or feeling combative. You know, reach out and be like, "Hey, I don't feel like an asshole. Do you want to go have some dinner? Maybe I need to eat." I don't know, but just employ your friends. They understand you, and they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna hold you responsible for this kind of behavior. That shit is really crappy to do. Sometimes we just need to reset, and sometimes reset is just like taking your friend or somebody and just doing something for a minute. You know? Okay, so a card to round out the day. Seven of Pentacles. So this is about health, wealth, and finances overall today. We're all trying to figure out probably how to pay the bills, how to keep that roof over our heads, et cetera, et cetera. But the Seven of Pentacles, you know, this is someone who's watching their work grow, who has put in some work. To me, this is also can be a little bit of impatience, okay? But sometimes we just have to wait. Like, look, we got this Hierophant saying we set ourselves up, okay? We took care of ourselves in that way so we can have a good outcome from this, okay? And so that's the work that we put in. It's what we're waiting for to kind of happen. So a court case, I don't, I'm catching on to something, but I'm not quite sure if it's a court case or just something that you have to show up for. It doesn't have to be necessarily in court, but so those things are going to come into fruition. Okay. Remember that it pays to take your time, right? Doing things with a quickness, you know, kind of waiting this out is going to be worth it. All the time that you've already put into it is already going to be worth it. All right. And that means all the time you put into you, all the time you put into that relationship, all the time that you put into that work, all the time that you put into this situation getting ready to happen for you. It's going to work for you. You just have to be patient. You have to just know that those pentacles that you have buried that you've planted to grow, they're seeding, they're flowering, they're turning into something. I can even see it